its approval rating in the AP poll down to 35. Gallup shows a 14% drop on Republican satisfaction within their own party. And now you have Ossoff, that election coming up, and Handel coming up on Tuesday. The president sitting at 35% in this AP poll, and Republican strategists quietly concerned that Ossoff may win by 5, 6, 7 points in a Republican suburban district. And with Republicans' satisfaction in the direction of the country dropping 17 points in 1 month.
What?
17 points in 1 month. What are you hearing from Republicans on the Hill? Are they starting to take more of a go-it-alone approach and say the president's on his own?
Well, Joe, the one thing we haven't talked about yet is that yesterday the Senate passed a Russia sanctions bill. It was coupled with an Iran sanctions bill. There were only 2 votes against it, Rand Paul and Bernie Sanders. And it ties the president's hands. It essentially says we're going to add Russian sanctions. And also, by the way, President Trump, you will not be removing these Russia sanctions unless you talk to us first.
So, and Casey, on NATO, didn't they pass a resolution in the Senate saying the United States strongly supports the U.S.-NATO alliance, which passed 100 to nothing?
Yeah, and I mean, look, this Russia sanctions bill it's actually got teeth to it, and the president's going to have to decide to sign it, which would tie his own hands. And I think, just the fact that the Russia piece of this was an amendment to this Iran bill, and that means that Mitch McConnell decided, hey, I'm going to let this go forward. There was broad agreement on this, and while you can stick a microphone in a lot of these, people who've been more sympathetic to President Trump, somebody like Bob Corker, for example, who plays golf with him and talks to him, they may not be willing to say in front of a microphone yet something negative about the president because, in part, they're worried about this, base of President Trump's that's still with him and that will likely still be with him in 2018. But they can vote for stuff like this. And in this case, I think the leadership of the Republican Party on the Hill said to him, look, we are gonna put something in your way on this. We're gonna use our votes to stand in your way. And I think it's very reflective of those polling numbers. I mean, those numbers are getting bad enough that these midterm elections are potentially going to turn into a very difficult couple years for Republicans. And honestly, the repercussions for President Trump, if they lose big in the midterms, are potentially very high.
All right.
All right. Coming up, we're going to talk to a former U.S. attorney who retired hours before President Trump was sworn in. Plus, the NYPD's top official on counterterrorism joins the set. What he says about the federal government's ability to handle a crisis given the turmoil in Washington. And also, another leader leaked audio talking about Trump.
Oh my gosh! I know. And Donnie,
this is.
Oh, I mean, this is great. And Donnie Deutsch is going to go on a red-faced rant on why Donald Trump must be impeached.
Let's do hair on fire. Cue the hair on fire.
Morning Joe coming right back with a very enraged Donnie Deutsch. He's got a date this weekend in the Hamptons, and he wants to impress her. We'll be right back.
Name?
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.